But before we get started, we definitely got to give a shout out to the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Terence Bud Crawford. Congratulations. Outstanding fight. Multiple combinations. He left no doubt. Left no question. Plenty of counter tap backs. Defense was there. He just met his match. That's it. He just met his match. Well, let's get to another main event. Week 2, the biggest game, the highly anticipated Eagles and Chiefs game. I'm pretty sure everybody watched it. Both defenses knew exactly what the other team wanted to do. You didn't have too much running in this game. You didn't have no passing game. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith for the Eagles, they got to be pulling their hair out week 2 of them not just going off for his receiving yards. Eagles just finding a way to win. They're not playing perfect ball right now. Huge turnover. I think it was the only turnover in the game, and it cost them big time. So the Eagles are lucky to get away with this win as well, being so close, nip and tuck. Both of these teams couldn't get anything going on offense. It was going to come down to somebody making a turnover. And lucky the Eagles were able to be on the winning end of that to get that turnover. Saquon Barkley had like 88 yards on like 18 carries or something like that. Another big play in the game was the throw-up 50-50 ball to Devontae Smith. That was huge. That set up the win right there. A toss-up ball where you couldn't get anything in the passing game pretty much all game down the field. All game. 50-50 ball up. Jalen Hurts finds Devontae Smith. He was able to locate it, come down with it, sets it right in position for a touchdown. Multiple tush pushes. Multiple tush push. Finally got in. They did an instant replay, and be honest with you, it looked like he was already in on an instant replay, but you know how these things work. They probably just said he blew it dead before the ball even, crossed the plank, which I understand that. That's a possibility. But eventually they end up getting it in for the touchdown, putting the pressure back on Kansas City. Next thing you know, we're in the wheelhouse. All we got to do is D up. Just D up. So it was a good game. It was highly anticipated, and they gave us what we wanted to see. Low scoring. We expected a lot more scoring, especially when you look at the Super Bowl, how that was, 40-something to 20-something, a little more points in that game. But in this one right here, it was nip and tuck. It was definitely nip and tuck. 20-17. Good defense by the Eagles, keeping the Kansas City Chiefs with 17 points. That is hard to do. And I know they missed some key pieces on offense, but still, it's hard to keep Patrick Magician, Mahomes is what we call him, 17 points as a total. So overall, good game, and the story of this game is find ways to win at any cost. Ugly, pretty, cute, sexy, fine, whatever you got to do, win the game. We'll figure it out down in the later weeks on polishing things up and looking nice and cute and beautiful. All right? I just want A.J. Brown to keep his focus, keep his mind, same well as Devontae Smith. When you're getting wins like this, you're not going to get your numbers. You're not going to get your numbers. Just think Super Bowls. Don't think numbers right now. You got your contract. You might be looking for another one on the back end, maybe. But I tell you what, when you're getting them shiny Super Bowl rings, it makes contracts hell of a easy to sign, don't it? And right now, the Eagles are just finding ways to win. That's it. Finding ways to win. So congratulations, Eagles, fighting that out, winning in Arrowhead. Not a great place to play on the road. So to go on there and take care of your business, big win. Big win. Well, let's see what Nick Sirianni had to say, head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, after this 20-17 win at home. And then we'll check out the scoreboard around the league after that. Well, let's check Nick Sirianni out, see what he got for us.
Okay. You're on 10% battery. Happens to me all the time.
All right, folks. Nick, what is it about this team to find different ways to win week in and week out? It seems like every week you guys do it in a different way.
Resiliency, playing for each other, together, not wanting to let each other down. the process that they go through, and just all the things that the mental toughness that we have. It's just a bunch of good guys, good coaches, good players, and yeah, our job, especially early in the season, is, and what I've said constantly to the team, is find a way to win, take pride in winning any way that you possibly can, work to get better throughout the week, repeat, repeat, repeat. So we got to keep getting better. I think there's no, I've said this before, like, all right, I don't know if I said this to you guys, but I think that when you come off a season like we came off last year, I think the expectation is that you're going to pick up right where you left off. Well, there's steps to this, right? There's steps for all the teams that are playing right now, and there's steps to get better. So as you're getting better, our goal is to play our best football by the end of the year. As you're getting better, find ways to win, get better,
And he's not lying about that. They won a Super Bowl off of that. So if anybody can pace this thing together throughout the season without it looking cute, maybe even lose a few games, 4 or 5 games, is the Philadelphia Eagles that can piece it together and make a Super Bowl run again. As long as this team stays together, stay together. Not looking for numbers, how many catches, how many rushing yards. If they're focused on team, which they are, you could tell they are. And I know A.J. Brown, he's the one, if anybody says anything, it's going to be him. But I think he's more calmer now. When you win a Super Bowl, it makes life a hell of a lot easier. I don't know how long it's going to last, but if A.J. Brown can stay focused, Devontae Smith can stay focused, Saquon Barkley can stay focused, Dallas Goedert can stay focused, all these playmakers on offense stay focused. You can throw Mitch in there. You can throw Dotson in there. Now, Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to be something to reckon with down on the back end of the schedule because they're going to get healthy. They're going to get their guys back. They're going to get Rice back. They're going to get Worthy back. This offense is going to start clicking again. We caught them at a good time. No excuses for them, but, it is what it is. They might have played a better game if they had those guys there. Just like if we had Dallas Goedert, our offense would have been a little more smoother because he's our security blanket when everything is all knitted tight and Spags got everything covered up. So, hey, injury's part of the game. We all know that. But he hitting it right on the money. Just find ways to win.
repeat.
It seems like Drew Makuba has an knack for just being around the football. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think I said that to you guys very early on. He's got a knack to find the football. You can see it on his college tape. Some guys have that. I think we have that at a lot of our levels of our defense. I think Jalen Carter has that. I think Zach Bond has that. I think Cooper DeJean has that. Reed Blankenship showed to have that, and he has that. And kind of similar to last week, we sat there at halftime. There's nothing sexy about the offense protecting the football, right? But they've done so 2 weeks in a row. And I know, Jalen had that early one that we were in the right spot to get the ball back. But then there's that level of the defense. We talked about it in there that it's going to come down to, who takes the ball away, who protects the ball, and who takes the ball away. And we had a big one. And Drew was that. When you see interceptions in the NFL, the quarterback's not throwing the ball to that guy, obviously, right? And so it's very rare that you get just this clean pick. They happen, but a lot of them happen off those types of plays right there. With a bounce of the ball and then being in the right spot. It first starts with everyone being on the same page and being in the right spot. Then it's being able to take advantage when you get your hands on the football, and he has the ability to do that. He showed that in the preseason. He showed that in all through the all through training camp. He showed that at Clemson. He showed that at Texas, and he's got an ability to do that. It's great. It's a great quality to have.
First question was key for you in this game, as it has in the past. Why did it work? And this game in particular.
We work our butt. Yeah, we work our butts off on it. First of all, it's all about the guys, right? It's all about the guys up front, the tight ends, Jalen, the timing of everything. I obviously won't get into all the things that we do to prepare for it, but, it's not an easy play to practice, but our guys do a great job of simulating it as much as we possibly can, during practice, during walkthroughs, different things like that. Creativity by our coaches to find ways to do that. as you can see, teams are going to do everything they can possibly do to stop it. So you can see, some of the things. I won't get into that either. I don't want to give any other teams a clue to what they were doing, but you know, and we're prepared for all those things, and the guys are prepared for all those things. But I think it always comes down to those guys up front. And Jalen, I've had a lot of success with that play, and we'll continue to use it to our advantage.
It looks like the Chiefs were complaining that a couple of times that the guards were going early. I probably get that from every team, but how close is that, and how good do you guys have to be at the timing part?
Yeah, we got to be very good at it because, again, like I said, teams are, I would argue that they were in the neutral zone a lot, and taking every inch that they had. They called the first one to back them up. I didn't think they necessarily backed up, but it is what it is. And they're going to do other things to try to stop that with, the way, again, don't want to get too much into it, but they're doing everything they can do. So it's a little bit, there's a little bit of gamesmanship on both sides with that. We know, though, that we have to be perfect with it.
We'll leave it at that. We don't go all the way through it. Don't want to bore anybody with a Nick Sirianni press conference playing all the way out. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to the box sheet real quick because, man, Eagles grinded this one out without even a running game. Well, I won't say without a running game. Without Saquon Barkley rushing for over 100 yards, I would say. And he ended up getting that close to the end. He broke a few when we really need to wind some clock down. He shook loose on a couple of them. But majority of the game, they were stuffing the running game. Without a passing game, pretty much as well, too. So we'll take a look at that. So this is an outstanding win when you look at the Eagles from a standpoint of not having a lot of production on offense. Okay? Look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts didn't even throw over 100 yards. Now it says 101 here, but the funny thing about the stats, it says he threw for 101 yards in this game against the Chiefs. But see, I don't count it that way a lot because he was sacked twice, -7. Okay? So you take that -7 to that 101 and you end up with 94 yards. Because just like a running back, if he rushed for 100 yards and the next play he gets 4-yard loss, you're at 96, right? Negative yardage, it's going to bring, something off your total. Same thing here. So we'll just say he got 101, but it's actually 94. Just not a pretty game. No touchdown passes. He threw no picks. That was a highlight of Jalen Hurts. He didn't turn the football over. And that will cost Kansas City Chiefs the game because they turned it over in a crucial situation in the fourth quarter. So that interception, Devontae Smith, big 50-50 ball he caught, sealed this game. Sometimes it just comes down to a play, sometimes two plays. And the Eagles was able to come up with those two big plays to seal it. Great game. Nip and tuck. We'll take it. Kansas City Chiefs 0-2. When the last time you said that? It's not an easy hole to climb out of. They're going to have to get it together when they get back healthy. I'm expecting them to get it back together. But the Eagles will go 2-0 without playing perfect ball yet. Not even decent ball. I ain't gonna even say perfect. Decent ball. They could easily be 0-2. Finding ways to win. That's all they're doing. Finding ways to win. So let's check out this scoreboard before we get out of here. But a hell of a Sunday. Football Sunday. Let's see here on this scoreboard today. I will tell you this. On my picks, it's looking good again for week 2. I'm not going to say it's going to be a duplication. It's going to come close to being a duplication depending on what Monday Night Football. A doubleheader, remember. Doubleheader Monday. Cowboys and Giants. I knew the Cowboys would win this week. But I tell you what, Giants gave them a scare though, didn't they? Boy, them Giants gave them a scare. Back and forth. They score. They scored. I thought the Giants had it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought them Giants had it, especially when neighbors caught that. Oh, man. Woo! Tough. But that was a hell of a NFC division battle right there. That was a battle. Cowboys got off the snide. Ravens and Browns. That was a slaughterhouse too. 41-17. The Ravens beat the Browns. I think Dylan Gabriel got a little action in this game, in this blowout. Yeah, I think he did. Bengals and Jaguars. I was watching a little bit of that game. Jaguars let that one slip away. They did. But it helped my pick, of course, but they still let it slip away. 31-27, the Bengals beat the Jaguars. Bengals were at home. Well, the Jaguars had every opportunity to pull this game out. They just didn't make the necessary plays in the end to pull it off. Remember that pass? It ricocheted off. Hunter was right there to grab it in a breadbasket, slipped right out like a little trick play by accident. He catch that ball, puts him in position before halftime, I think, to get some points. But that was just nip and tuck that game there, and Bengals pulled it out. Thursday night football, of course, Commanders and Packers. Packers pulled that out 27-18, of course. Chargers and Raiders, that's on Monday night. Buccaneers and Texans, that also is Monday night. Tune in to that doubleheader. That's going to decide my fate as far as my picks. Texans got to come with it. They're at home. They're at home. They do not want to go 0-2. They do not want to do that. So they got to come out with some fight against the Buccaneers. No chopped liver. We already know that. There are no chopped liver. Buccaneers going to come in here and they're going to play some football. But you just have to play better football, fundamental football, hopefully mistake-free football, hopefully good protection offensive line football, all right, with the right attitude, and hopefully big play C.J. Stroud football. Because if you don't have any of those three, they're going to be throwing up the LP sign, but they ain't going to be spelling Lapote. It's going to be spelling loss. All right? Loss. You don't want that. You don't want that. So, Slouchy Sunday, leading into, of course, making it Monday because we do a late night all the time. That's how we do it. But y'all enjoy yourselves, and it was a good football Sunday. Big football Sunday. Yeah, we'll see what it is. But thanks for y'all time, and Slouchy Sunday, of course. Rolling into Making It Monday. G.S.Q.H, Goodymo Sports Quick Hits. We out of here. Thanks again. Peace.